It's May 1st, 2016, May Day for the communists. Tens of thousands of people marched across Moscow's Red Square. Edom means red. That's Russia of today. Not the Christians of Russia, but the communistic, atheistic system. They marched across Moscow's Red Square on a sunny Sunday morning in a pro-Kremlin workers' rally. The protesters were carrying the Russian tricolor and balloons. And if you go look at the Russian Duma, their very website has a hammer and sickle. One of the four parts of their government is the Communist Party of Russia. So there you go. The communistic system is still alive, and it's headquartered in Red Square, Moscow. Silence regime in the Damascus region of Ghouta will be extended until the end of May 1st. The head of the Russian Reconciliation Center in Syria said Sunday. But meanwhile, monstrous violence in Syria as government excludes Aleppo from truce. They weren't included in this silence regime, as it's called. Here on May 1st, which is the anniversary of Adam Weishaupt putting together the modern-day Illuminati in 1776 on May 1st, and that's why May 1st is the May Day of the communists. Because in 1830, after Adam Weishaupt died, according to Eustace Mullins, the Rothschilds invented communism, Nazism, fascism, and last but not least, Zionism in 1830. And that's the same year that the rapture theory came out, incidentally, through a mentally ill teenage Scottish girl. There is no rapture of the church prior to the tribulation of Satan, that 5-month-long hour of temptation. You're going to go through it, and Satan appears as Antichrist in the middle, at the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial. But it could happen any time of the year. Pray that your flight not be in winter. Nobody knows the time. All we know is that it's going to be for 5 months. We know that from Revelation chapter 9. That's the term of the locust, and it just so happens that it's May through September. Will it happen at that time of year? Nobody knows, but we're going to watch May through September again, just as we did last year, as a type, and we'll see what happens. It worked out pretty accurately last year with things happening that fit the mold as a type of how it shall be during the hour of temptation. You got to understand the difference between a type and the actuality. There is a difference. Example, Nebuchadnezzar was a type of Antichrist, but he literally killed people. When Satan appears as the false Christ, he comes in peacefully, and by peace shall destroy many. He won't physically kill people. He'll spiritually kill people by causing them to worship him instead of Christ, which is what Antichrist means. So that third that you see slain in Revelation chapter 9 are slain spiritually because they become Satan worshipers. You're no longer a Christian once you begin to worship the devil. Other news at the top of the Drudge Report, Mayday USA, Cuban-born Americans warn morphing into communist country because of the two wings of the communist system. Thousands march in Moscow's Red Square, we already covered that, tear gas in Paris and Istanbul. So there you have it, May 1st marking the beginning of this 5-month-long type that we're going to examine, and we're going to see what happens leading up to July 15th, which is the middle. But we don't know if it's going to happen during May through September. The actual 5-month-long hour of temptation could happen any time of the year. It could happen May through September, but we don't know that. All we know is it's 5 months. It's split into 2 half hours because of that half-hour silence written of in Revelation chapter 8. In the first verse, you'll see it there, silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. What's half of 5 months? 2.5 months. And it was 7 years. Daniel's 70th week is what it's known as, and it was shortened to 5 months. So Daniel 9:27 fits into the 5 months with Satan appearing as Antichrist, the abomination of desolation, in the middle of that 5-month-long hour of temptation. But don't take my word for it. Here you see this chart that we've put together and been showing constantly, but don't just take that as gospel. Go into it for yourself and verify that it's the truth. Go into your Father's Word. Read about those 3 woe trumpets. The first woe trumpet is the one world political system emerging whenever Satan and his angels are cast out of heaven unto the earth. They're the 4th beast of Daniel, the supernatural ingredient with the 10 horns. You have to have them on earth before it can happen. And then it receives a deadly wound, and then Satan appears in the middle of the 5 months. It was 7 years, and he appeared in the midst of the week. that still works for the 5 months because it's in the middle. That's what the half hour is indicating there, okay? And that's the woe of the 6th trumpet. And at the 7th trumpet, the true Christ returns, changing us into our spiritual bodies. So you can't miss that. There's really no excuse. Having read 1 Corinthians chapter 15, where it reads plainly and obviously that at the last trump, all will be changed into spiritual bodies upon the return of the true Christ. So you can't miss that, and you shouldn't miss that. You should study your Father's Word chapter by chapter and verse by verse, whereby you're not deceived into worshiping the devil and receiving the mark of the beast in your forehead, which is the deception that Satan is Jesus. And as usual, I'll leave you with the last words of Mark chapter 13, the words of Jesus Christ. What I say unto you, I say unto all, watch.